Yo, what up, street dogs? There, Kim. Alright, the turbo thought. This one is regarding growth, photo growth. So, right now growth is all the rage. They don't call it marketing anymore, they call it growth. Having a growth team. And it seems that a lot of these companies, they thrive based on how much or how little they grow. And so, what is the philosophy of growth, and how can we harness the notion of growth in a positive, generative way that would help us as photographers, visual artists, and so forth? So some quick thoughts. The first thought is, how does a physiological organism, aka a human, grow? So let's just keep it simple. Let's say we want to augment and increase your muscle mass to get stronger, bigger, more big. And certainly we need more nutrition, more meaty nutrition. And so first thought, perhaps if you want to augment our ability as photographers and visual artists, we also need to somehow augment our visual nutrition. So that probably means consuming more great visual art, classic Renaissance stuff, studying the work of the master photographers in the past. And also, I'm a huge fan of watching cinema, because cinema, they have such huge, massive budgets for filming, cinematography, whatever. And so the compositions that these film producers make are often a lot more calculated and precise and interesting than photographers who, obviously there's a lot of photographers with great compositions, but if you're shooting a film, you actually have a lot more control over your composition and framing, and therefore when you're looking at your studying the composition of cinematographers, that the cinematography of cinematographers is actually kind of more of like a perfect composition, whereas photography, especially street photography, is a lot more difficult in the real world. But it at least gives us something great or greater to aspire towards. So that's the first thing, I think, is let's try to aspire to great compositions by studying more cinema. And also I think it's making images that feed you. So with whatever kind of compositions that kind of turn you on or motivate you, it's striving for greater images. So how do we describe greater images? Photos that are more interesting, more complex to you, and also photos with more physical strength, typically photos that kind of get you going. So I like photos in motion, I kind of like grit and grain, I like black and white. When it comes to colors, go for the high contrast, juicy colors. And any sort of visual images you produce, if it can act as a visual stimulus to yourself and to your audience, the better. And so it also does seem that with photography, the more you go out and experience the world and interact with the real world, obviously you're going to make better photos, because you're just going to see more, you're going to witness more, and you're going to find more inspiration. And so a basic thought is, rather than waiting for inspiration to strike you and then you go out and shoot photos, I always say just go on a walk, or just live your everyday life and just hold your camera in your pocket. And then when you see something that's interesting to you, make photos. And also just the practical question too, is how much do you care about photography? How much does art matter to you? And if photography and art and stuff like that is your, kind of your apex goal and desire in life, strive to actually optimize your life in a way that maximizes your photo potential. So let's say street photography is your thing, then it makes sense to live in a metropolitan city or a downtown area that allows you more opportunities to shoot street photography. A lot of people tend to make the mistake that, the point of life is to make more money or whatever, but that's kind of dumb. I think so in that regard, at least for me, I enjoy having this kind of semi-nomadic lifestyle where I could travel a lot, see a lot of stuff, interact a lot. And for me, my personal happiness is the more time I spend outdoors and out interacting with others. And I also think the best stimulation is social stimulation. So anything that kind of gets me interacting with other people, going to stores, chatting with people, working out and stuff like that, the better. So when it comes to anything in life, optimize for your photographic growth, and thrive on.